All right, I think we're live. I think we're live. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Hey, in this video, we're going to talk about. Let me see if I'm on mute here. Hold on. If you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up. I'm just getting this sound going. Today, we're going to talk about reasons why people are leaving Grand Rapids, Michigan. Why would anybody leave? Why are people leaving? I see this place as one of the best places on the planet to live. So easy to live here. Why are people leaving? I want to go over those in specific as far as reasons why people are leaving. So if you're interested, can you guys hear me? I want to make sure I'm loud and clear. If you can hear me, just hit the like button, hit the, thumbs up button. Let me know you guys can hear me. Otherwise, I'm just going to stop. I don't even want to get into it if no one can hear me. Wouldn't make any sense. How we doing? How we doing? Sounding good? All right. I got one person. We'll talk about it. We're talking about reasons why people are leaving. And it's coming up right now. For thanks for doing Sights to See, you are now watching Live Great TV, and I am your official host to Living Great in Grand Rapids and the West Michigan area. My name is Vaughn Greathouse. Hey, if you want to know more about the Grand Rapids area and what it's like to live, work, and have fun in West Michigan, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit the like button, show me some love so you don't miss out on all the brand new videos that I'll be putting out each and every week, because I love putting these videos together for you guys. But even more than that, it's my honor and my privilege to help you make that transition over to the West Michigan area. So that name, that number, that email, my information's below in the description. Get a hold of me, book a call. Let's talk about your specific scenario, and we'll go from there. With that being said, let's just get right into it. So in regards to why people are leaving Grand Rapids, now there are so many good reasons why people are moving here in the first place. So let's just start off with, I've been in Grand Rapids. I feel like, I've been here probably, I want to say 12 years now, and growing up in Holland, which is a little further south of Grand Rapids. I know all about the West Michigan area. You got Kalamazoo, Hudsonville, you got Rockford, you got South Haven, you got Allegan, you got Jenison, you got Grandville, Wyoming, so many different places in the West Michigan area that a lot of people look forward to. I personally like living here. So it's really one of those things of like, what is the actual outcome of Grand Rapids? Like, what are people doing? Why are they coming here? Why are they leaving? Now, I get a ton of messages. I get a ton of calls from people who just want to know more about the Grand Rapids area. And I love helping people make that transition, because it's nothing like, and I was just having a conversation with some clients, it's nothing like having your eyes and ears and boots on the ground as you're moving into a new city, finding more about that area, finding, what areas do I want to stay away from? What areas do I want to go towards as far as my lifestyle? And it's always really a tricky thing in regards to, just being transparent with people and finding out exactly what their flavor is, because my favorite thing to say, and I say it all the time, is different strokes for different folks. So like I said last week, if you like shoestrings hanging from the telephone wire in that area, you like broke glass everywhere, that's fine. If you like a wine and cheese, you want to be on the top of a hill somewhere, I got something for you. And that's the great thing about West Michigan, is that there are so many different facets to the city as far as what you may end up liking as you're discovering, you're asking questions, you're just kind of doing your due diligence in regards to what is it going to be like if I were to move to this part of town. Some people have friends and family here. Some people have never been here in their entire life, so they're transitioning here for different reasons, such as work or, relationships, whatever, what have you. So those are some of the things that I come in and I shoot it to you straight. I try not to fluff around. People do not like, to find out surprises later. So it's my honor, my privilege, my duty to give it to you straight as I see it. So, I'm a real estate agent here in West Michigan. I've been serving the West Michigan area for about 10 years now. So I get a good feel as far as what the home market is doing. And, depending on your ability, your comfortability, reach out and I'll be able to help you. So what I want to do is I want to go straight over to my computer here, my desktop, so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Let's see if I can pull this up. Let's see here. All right, let's get a good little gander here. All right, can you guys see my screen? I'm pulling it up. Hopefully you see it. And this is the Grand Rapids area. Now, one of the things that I really, truly am just thrilled about is over the past 10 or 15 years, the Grand Rapids area has grown so much. I can remember thinking back in like college days, we had one or two spots that we would go to. I had a bunch of friends at Grand Valley, and visiting, going downtown as far as like college life and whatnot. At nighttime we had a great time. We made a ton of friends. It was very easy to meet people just because of the culture is so nice here. But ultimately, we have people who, even after having such a great experience, they leave town. They don't want to be here anymore. So I want to talk about what some of those reasons are. So without any further chitter chat, whatever you want to call it, let's just go right into those reasons why people leave the Grand Rapids area. So I'm going to make my screen a little bigger here and have just more, more like a presentation. So reasons people leave Grand Rapids. Let's get right into it. Number one, I got 9 or 10 reasons that I want to go over. Number one, they say it's too small. Now, people who are from big cities, they want something a little smaller. People from bigger cities, they come here and they're like, man, I actually can, go grocery shopping and pick up a library book in the same half hour. I'm cool with that. Let's get it done and stay downtown, have somewhat of a city feel in regards to the downtown area. Or, for example, if you want to go to the apple orchard and you want to go to the museum in the same day, you can make a day of that in Grand Rapids in literally no time. So you can do that all within a 4-hour span. So knowing, like, if you have family or if you have friends, you just want to have a get together, that people are saying is just too small. And a lot of that comes into, some people who are super duper chatty and super friendly and make friends really easy. They're just sick of bumping into people all the time that they know. And in that event, hey, it's a smaller place. Now, the population out here is somewhere around 600,000, especially like right in the Grand Rapids area. And so it's the perfect big little town. I always give people that analogy. Now, commuting, you can get from one side of town to the next in about 15-20 minutes. You can literally go from southeast Grand Rapids to northwest and get there in 15-20 minutes and pass a bunch of stuff along the way that you might get distracted. You might get distracted if you want to stop at a shop or see a new store that opens up. So that's another thing why people would leave. They want more. They want something bigger. And I kind of sided, the fact that it was too small with the fact that they just outgrow it. Now, if you're in some sort of business or trade, like you kind of feel like you've kind of tapped out. I have friends that who've born and raised here, or they're from on the outskirts of Grand Rapids, and they just know people from high school, and they just meet people, different colleagues in their industry, and they feel like they kind of hit a ceiling in regards to what they want to do. So that is another reason why someone will leave. So they have bigger, different, and better opportunities when it comes to the Grand Rapids area. And that is one of the reasons. Now, the next reason is going to be the weather. We are in the Midwest. This is the epitome of straight up Midwest. It's right in between Chicago and Detroit. It's 2 hours to Chicago, or maybe 3 hours to Chicago, and then 2.5 hours to Detroit. So you're smack dab in the middle, right off of Lake Michigan. And we get a lot of lake effect snow. The weather's crazy. Let me tell you, this week on Monday, today's Sunday, last week Monday, it was a snowstorm, and I kid you not, I had to drive to the east side and to east side, to Detroit, Michigan area, and there were probably 6 or 7 cars in the ditch because the roads were so bad. And yesterday on Saturday, we had 80-degree weather, and it was literally like a summer day. We hung out on the rooftop, and just enjoyed ourselves. And it was just like mind blowing that like we are getting these type of weather patterns in Michigan. Now, this is not uncommon. It doesn't happen all the time that it's 25 and then 80 in the same week, but not to say that can't happen, but at the same time, we have crazy weather patterns. Now, going out of your way to predict what you're going to do for the week is going to be a roll of the dice, because you say, hey, on Thursday we're going to go hang out and have a picnic, but you got to have like a backup plan. If it snows or if it rains, you got to make sure that's prepared. So when people just are tired of that, they want to be in just either I'm going to be cold all the time or I'm going to be nice and warm all the time. So some people just get tired of it. They've been here so long, they want to move. The weather's just too much, and they take off. The next thing is lack of diversity. Now, before I even get into this, I know people are probably watching saying this and saying that, but the lack of diversity now in this area, it is, what I'll say is I've been living here for my whole life, and I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. So, I mean, if that tells you anything, if you need any more specifics, we can get into that. Now, the diverse workforce, there's a lot. I was talking to another a buddy, I grew up with him, and he's a chef out here. He was explaining to me, as far as food, there are limited places that you actually go to have a genuine like experience, like a traditional, authentic like catering or experience, like where you go to eat and you're like, wow, that was mind blowing. Or because I think of a time we went to Austin, Texas, and we went to this like Spanish restaurant, and they were dancing and pulling people out of chairs, and it was just like this big event. And we don't have a ton of those type of restaurants out here, so the culture is growing. I'm definitely noticing a lot more people who are bringing different vibes, different type of restaurants, different cultures into Grand Rapids, and it's really cool to see it expand from what is predominantly just like your traditional Midwestern. There's a lot of Dutch heritage out here, and now people are just coming from all over, bringing their energy, bringing their culture to the area. And so now it's growing and getting a little better. So that's one thing that I will say. But if you have any questions on it, obviously, book a call with me and I'll be able to help you. The next thing is to go along with that is media attention. Grand Rapids has been getting some media attention lately. I don't want to speak on it specifically, but if you know, you know. And some people are just embarrassed. They just don't want to have anything to do with it. They, for one reason or the next, they're just like, you know what? I don't want to be associated with it. I just want to move on, start over, do my thing. I don't want anything to do with it. Tell people I'm from, what's that place on Black Panther? I forget the name of it. Can't think of it right now. But Rwanda or something like that. I forget. Anyways, sorry. I should know that. But anyways, some people just don't like that media attention. They want something low key. They just want to be under the radar and just be behind the scenes. And so that's another reason that people just won't be here. They don't want it. They don't want the spotlight on. Now, the next one is they hate lake life. A lot of people around here in Grand Rapids area, they love going on their boats. And in Michigan, we summer hard. We literally go through 7 months of just winter, 8 months of winter, and it's gray outside all the time, and it's snow and sleet and slush everywhere. Some people love it. I love it, to an extent. I don't like being cold that much, but I do like the snow. And people just don't like that lake life. People have boats. People, go on the water all the time, and some people just don't like it. They don't like to be around the water. They don't want to have anything to do with it. And so a lot of people just stay inland. They stay right in their little bubble. They stay downtown. They might hit a pool every once in a while to stay cool in the summer, crank that AC up. But people just don't like the lake life that's out here. But it is a huge deal. You have places like South Haven, places like Saugatuck, places like Holland, Grand Haven, Muskegon, Mona Shores, all the way up the lakeshore, St. Joe. All these places are huge lake towns. And if people who are living in town, and then you have Indians Lake, you get Higgins Lake, you get Dean Lake, you have Reeds Lake, you have so many other lakes that people just like to go to. It is a way of living in West Michigan. So if you don't like lake life and they don't want to be around it, they don't want to have anything to do with it, that's why another reason people would leave. Now, the next one is limited job opportunities. Now, this one is kind of can go both ways. Some people move here because we do have some great industries. We have a great medical industry with Spectrum Hospital. We have a great design industry. We have a great beer and craft beer industry. We have so many other great industries that you can utilize your skills inside of. But at the same time, if some people are doing that big city life, stockbroker, they want to be an entertainer, performer, stuff like that, that is limited here, very limited. But there are some places that are actually, people coming from out of town bringing that in here. For example, good buddy Josh Sikkema, shout out to Josh Sikkema. He has a new studio called Black Pigeon Studios, where he from LA, he was born and raised here in the Grand Rapids area, took his career working for Wood TV8, which is a local news station. Took his skills out to LA, created a name for himself, and brought it right back home. So now the movie industry is expanding here, and a lot of talent comes from Grand Rapids. So knowing that there are opportunities that are coming here, if that's something that you're into, looking out for those job opportunities, you may be able to find some small ones. But as far as you just taking off and, got these big city dreams and whatnot, this may not be the very place that you want to get started at. So when people leave, they just say, you know what, I want to do this, I want to do that, I'm going to leave, get a better job or corporate job or something like that. They take off. They don't want to be here. The next one is going to be they don't like the layout of the land. I just got to give a quick story now. A guy who good buddy, his name's Sonny, he called me from the channel and whatnot, said, hey, I want to move out here. Recently was talking to him, and he's like, some people don't, they don't know the area. These people that I know moved and thought they were in one part of town. They were not in that part of town, and they had to commute. They really didn't like it. And so it was one of those deals where it's like, they're out. They're like, we thought this was something that it wasn't. It didn't meet our expectations, and we're gone. So peace out, GR. We didn't work out the way we thought. Some people just take off. They thought that, it was a little further, or the highways would be a little bit better. One thing that I will say really quickly, kind of off topic, but traffic here isn't too bad. If you've lived in a bigger city and have experienced a lot of traffic, this is not going to be a place where you're like, I hate the traffic. It's not something that's prominent and stands out. There are times, especially around that 5 o'clock time frame, and then early in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock, you're going to run into a little jam here and there, and there's construction. They always say it's two seasons in Michigan. It's winter and construction. So there's a heads up on that. So as people are driving around, the traffic's not too bad. If you can give yourself a half hour to get home, you're going to make it no matter where you live in the city. So that's another great thing about it. But some people just don't like the layout. They want something a little bigger, or they want something maybe even a little smaller. So that's really one of the things that they look out for. The next thing, reasons people leave Grand Rapids: family and relationships. I have some buddies. I have a buddy who lived in the Holland area, and his father got a job out in Texas, and his mom obviously went with him. And then it turned out his sister got accepted to a college in Texas, and he's here. And so he was just like, I'm out, and I have another buddy whose family did the same thing in North Carolina. And so he's just out. He's like, I'm out, So what happens is people build these relationships. I don't know if people meet people on Match.com or Tinder or whatever, and they want to move. They want a good excuse to leave Michigan, I guess. That is another reason why people will leave. Another thing, like if you have friends that have moved out of town, kind of like I do. After after high school and college, a lot of my friends just took off, and so it's like, man, I don't have that same connection. I can't build those same relationships. Granted, I do have a lot of great relationships, but you know, going to a different place and experiencing other things is something that like people might even be curious about. Then on the other side of it, you have people who never leave town. So that's another thing that when it comes to reasons why people leave. And the next thing is going to be the cost of living. So when it comes to the Grand Rapids area, is it expensive? Yes and no. It depends on what your lifestyle is and what you like to do the most. So, for example, if you're a person who goes out to eat all the time, you literally don't know how to cook. First of all, watch YouTube. You're already on this channel, so just type in there microwave masterpiece recipes. I'm sure you'll be able to find how to cook a good PB&J peanut butter jelly sandwich. You can do whatever you want, but at the same time, the cost of living is very flexible in regards to where you can eat. Now, you don't have to eat McDonald's all the time. There are some great restaurants, some like little hole in the wall diners that you can hop in there, get a little $2-3 burger or sandwich. There's a lot of specials throughout the week. So we go to like O'Toole's, or we may go to some of the brunch spots that are downtown in Grand Rapids where everybody's is hopping, it's going down, especially on the weekends. And so the cost of living is very flexible. One thing that I will note is the average price point of a home in particular. If you're getting your standard 3-bed, 2-bath house, 1,500 square foot, with a finished basement, you're probably going to be somewhere around the 285, 300,000, maybe 315 range, after everything's said and done, based on my experience. The other part is, if you're not looking to purchase, you want to rent something, you're gonna be, I would just tell people to plan on anywhere from $1,250 to at least $1,650 just per month, wherever you're going to move at, and to move somewhere comfortable. Now, if you're a little higher end, you want to, like maybe a year just to come in town, get a feel for the city. I would say somewhere around $2,000 to $2,000 to $3,000 a month to move in comfortably and actually make that happen. But some people just see it as like, they were, 4 or 5 years ago, they were paying $900 for a two bed, 2-bath apartment. Now it's gone to $1,400, and they're like, peace, I'm out. I'm going to Podunk, Timbuktu, wherever, just because I can't make it here. The cost of living is a deterrent for some people. So that's all going to depend on how you live your lifestyle, just like I was saying. So if you have any specific questions, check out in the link. I'll put a video of the cost of living in Grand Rapids where I really broke it down into detail. But that is a reason why people just get sick of Grand Rapids and don't want to be here any longer. Another thing is that I thought of as why people will leave Grand Rapids is they don't want to explore the Grand Rapids area. This area has a ton to offer, and some people who've been here for a long time think that they've learned it all. I've been here my entire life, and I still haven't experienced it all. I went last year for the first time to a place called Tree Runner. So I took my daughter, my girlfriend, her friend went. We all like I was telling in one of the videos, the 5 pros and 5 cons of living in Grand Rapids. They put this like harness thing on your butt, and then they clip you to this cable wire, and you're literally in the air, jumping across trees, and it's like this extremely fun experience if you're like into outdoorsy stuff, and you really can learn different things about the area that you've never known. Frederick Meyer Gardens is a huge attraction. Going to catch a concert there during the summertime, watching the stars. You can go to Robinette's apple orchard. You can go to Crane's apple orchard. Go pick some apples. Do some things outside of the box. rent a boat. There's different boat clubs and boat rentals and things like that. You can really diversify the things that you're really wanting to do here. Go skiing, go zip lining, go tubing, do all sorts of things as far as activity wise. You can go down to do a wine and canvas. We did a wine and canvas before. So there's so many different things that you're able to experience that a lot of people just don't. They think they've seen it all. They're kind of in their bubble and they're just like, peace, we're out. We don't want to be here any longer. So that's another thing why people want to go. And those are my reasons why people leave Grand Rapids. I hope that that was kind of clear for you guys. I just wanted to draw those out. Now let's take a look at some of the particular uh numbers as far as the statistics in the Grand Rapids area. So if we look at the Grand Rapids metro population, the current population is 603,000, and it's a 30.33% increase, which is huge. That's a huge increase. And each year, if you look, it's gone up. Like, it has gone up for a long time. Since 1950, people just come here, tapered off a little bit, but it still kept going. It dipped down. When was this? Let me see when this was. If I can see it. 2020, it dipped a little bit, probably because job opportunities and whatnot. So, but it's still going up. And the thing about that is, one thing I'll point out is that people are thinking that the Grand Rapids area is, the people who live here think that the Grand Rapids area is expensive and it's going up. So they just don't want to buy anything. People maybe like you who are out of town are looking at Grand Rapids and you're looking at it like it's a buffet. You're like, yeah, I'll take 2 houses, please. So in regards to whatever your scenario is, especially the people who are local, I'm like, hey, you better make a move on this, because someone from California is just sold their 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot house for 1.5 million. And they're coming here to clean up. They're going to take your house and pay cash over it before you even get a chance to decide. So one thing that as realtors will say is, if you got to sleep on it, you probably aren't going to sleep in it. So keep that in mind as you're going forward when you got to make your decision. And it just shows, the sheer numbers show that people love being here. More people are getting a hold of this town. They're really figuring out that Grand Rapids, it kind of is the place to be. And as long as that's the case, you can do what you need to do in that area. It's going to work out perfectly fine for you. So another thing I wanted to point out as well is, this is an older article from Wood TV 8. This is what I was talking about that Josh used to work for. So let me close this ad over here. Grand Rapids, a new small home will hit the market in Southeast Grand Rapids in the next week. People nearby have the opportunity to put in their offers. That's by design, meant to help people who can't imagine, who could afford a brand new home and realize their dream. There's a lot of opportunity in the area because the price points are lower. The entry level is a lot easier than some other areas. I just did a video about the Kalamazoo area, and that is one of the easiest places to buy a property. But some people who are comparing Grand Rapids to Kalamazoo don't get the same effect. There's not as high of a demand in Kalamazoo. Now, they do have the Kalamazoo Promise. Now, if you have kids and you want to put them in the school system, they graduate from Kalamazoo schools, then they kind of got their pick as far as college. So if that's something you're interested in, you may want to also look into that. So that's the layout of the Grand Rapids area. I genuinely love to be in Grand Rapids. It is one of those things where, especially the downtown area, whenever you get a chance to go down there, they just had a huge event at the John Ball Zoo. And let me zoom in here. Let's see if I can. How close can I zoom in here? So John Ball Zoo, really great area. This is right off of Highway 196. There's like a curve here, and a lot to offer. They're always remodeling this place. They're always doing additions and adding new exhibits for the kids and whatnot. So it's really a great opportunity if you're interested in having something to do in Grand Rapids. You can definitely check out John Ball Zoo, one of the hugest attractions that are out here. Frederick Meyer Gardens, another great opportunity for you to just get out and about, try some things. and I think you'll really, really enjoy it. So I just wanted to come on and show that to you all. If you have any specific questions, I can probably go into the chat and see what everybody's talking about here. Try to catch up with you guys. Let's see what we got. Da, 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 da. How you guys doing? I hope you liked it. I hope you guys appreciate. I really am excited to get this information out to everybody, and as much as I can give you and share with you the city that I live in. I've been here for a long time. You literally won't find anyone who's more excited to help you, more energized to help you, and weigh out those pros and cons. Give it to you straight. And I'm entitled to my own opinion. I can not like things if I want to. So I just give it to you straight. And if you don't like this, fine too. But it's different. Like I said, different strokes for different folks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a look at some of the comments and try to help you guys out. Okay, so it looks like da da da. All right, let's go over here. It says, "Hey, Holland, Michigan here, Mr. Christopher. Shout out to Mr. Christopher. Thank you for tuning in. And I was born and raised in Holland, so I salute to Holland. Flying Dutchman, I know all about it. Um, yeah, the next thing, why leave? Exactly. Why would we leave? Christine, we can hear you. All right. Good to hear from you guys. Mr. Stay away from division in GR unless you're a lizard. LOL. Vintage BUT. Can you help finding a nice apartment too? One thing that I will say about apartment living, it is competitive. I do have a few realtor friends who own property in West Michigan, and some of them are they have people that are waiting for their properties. So it really is going to be an idea of Facebook is a really great place to look for apartment opportunities. Be careful of those little scams and whatnot because people try to get you. Make sure you talk to a live person, meet somebody, shake somebody's hands, check the tax records to make sure they're legit. And before you fork over any money, because I've seen people and get scammed out of stuff. So just protect yourself. Make sure you have a good heads up before you fork any large amount of money over. Another thing is to check Craigslist. Believe it or not, Craigslist is still in the game. Zillow.com, apartments.com. Those are going to be great places. Put your name and get on the waiting list while you're looking because something might come up last minute. Somebody might look at one of these reasons to leave Grand Rapids and be like, you know what? That guy was right. I'm out of here. So you might be in the running if your name's on the list. So that is the game. You got to spread yourself out like a huge net. And then from there, you'll be good to go. I want to do that too. There you go. Georgia P6, hey Vaughn, do you do much work with veterans and VA loans? Absolutely. So when it comes to VA loans and working with veterans, thank you for your service, by the way. I definitely appreciate your service. It's really just going to be a positioning idea for as far as what you're looking to get. Now, if you want to compete, the VA loan is a zero down loan, so that's going to give you limited competition, limited on competition. If you got somebody with all cash or you have someone with FHA or someone with conventional who's got more money to put down, if you're putting yourself in the shoes of the seller, it's always one of those things where they want the most money, the quickest sale, and the fewest problems. So VA can be a little tricky, but I do have some info. Just feel free to book a call. We'll go over everything. I'll be happy to help you. Ryan Smith, my rent went up 58% in December. I believe it. I really believe it. Now, I have gym membership at the Y. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't care. I have a gym membership at the Y, the YMCA, and they just, up their rate. So it's really like a lot of people's prices are going up. So that is more motivation for people to get focused, start, finding different sources of income, generating, being smart, being, savvy on your toes. I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but it definitely brings your, sink or swim at that time. I don't want to get too into it, but it really is something that's happening. It's something that's relevant, and to ignore it would be silly. So that's what I want to put in. So Yeah, I appreciate you. It looks like I got to the bottom of them. I appreciate everyone for hopping on. Like I said, this is an awesome experience for me to connect with you, find out exactly what's most important for you as you're making your decision and transitioning over to the West Michigan area. For Things to Do and Sights to See, this is Live Great TV. I'm your official host to Living Great in Grand Rapids and the West Michigan area. My name is Vaughn Greathouse. If you want to know more about the Grand Rapids area, what it's like to live, work, and have fun in West Michigan, subscribe to the channel. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Legitimately, I'm excited. I never thought that I would be able to grow the channel to be this much, but it's because of you that I'm able to come on here, connect with you, give you the info straight, and just, keep rocking. So with that being said, subscribe to the channel. We will see you on the next video. All